Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy, and this is me trying to play around with cloud pours. And if you saw my video I released of this already, I'm so sorry for the audio, and I I removed the background noise and it didn't work. So my gosh, if I hadn't listened to it, no telling how many of you guys would have heard it. So first color was Hansa Yellow Light from Colourarte Vivid Intense. Second was Alizarin Rose. This is Deep Violet. All of these are Vivid Intense. And this is Fluorescent Blue Green, which you should buy by the gallon. That is Prussian Blue from Soho. And this is my cloud mix. I have all of it in the description box below. For my cloud mix is I basically modified Molly's Dream Cloud recipe, and I swapped Walmart Satin house paint, where she uses the satin enamel from Deco Art, and I added a splash of Liquitex pouring medium, and I used a little bit less water. So trying to use up my paints from the Colourarte collaboration we did, where I did the ribbon ring pour. So my Vivid Intense are mixed up with Erica's recipe, which is 75% Floetrol to 25% gel gloss, to give them some body, because fluid acrylics don't have any body. Well, they have very little body. Anyway, so I'm putting the Hansa Yellow Light and the Alizarin Rose down first, and then I follow that with the Prussian Blue from Soho. The Prussian Blue from Soho works really nicely with the clouds. Keep in mind, this looks more like phthalo blue than Prussian Blue, but anyway. So now I'm putting my cloud mix in, and what I really should have considered when I did this way is that both the yellow and the alizarin rose are transparent. I mean, so is the Prussian blue, but the Prussian blue created mud, right? Should have known that. So what I should have done is started with those, then done the cloud, and then done the Prussian blue, and it might have been okay. Now we're doing the fluorescent blue-green, but I'm sharing with you anyway my baby alien, Grinch baby, fossil-looking cloud pour. I let it dry. My husband says it should live. He saves a lot of paintings, by the way. So now we put a little bit more of the blue. We're going to do some more cloud and some more blue. Then we're going to kind of just pour it haphazardly with rings, and then try to end it with a straight pour in the middle. And that's how I get the baby alien. I probably should have just kept going with the rings, and it may not have been that bad. But anyway, I do like it. It's kind of funky. I used a Payne's Gray flow extender that's just mixed with Floetrol. I have it mixed a little bit thinner than I prefer, and I had just a little bit left in the cup, so I decided just to use it to kind of help with the corners, because square canvases can be difficult composition-wise. If you have to cover your corners, obviously you have to hyperextend your design. So all I'm going to torch is the flow extender. I'm not going to torch the painting. When I first started doing these, I was like, man, no matter how long I let my paint sit, these bubbles are horrible and they mess up the composition so bad. So I just stopped torching them. So, and it's been all right. So I'm just spreading this around to help get to the corners a little easier. That's really all I'm using it for. And so while I'm talking nonsense, so this is creative inspirations I'm spreading around. In a previous video, I think it was the wacky last one I did, I said that I think creative inspirations might not be good for cloud pours because you get all this weird lacing and you don't necessarily get the clouds. But then I was watching Chris Jessic the other day, and she's amazing, and she did a beautiful piece, cloud piece, using 2 creative inspiration colors. So I was like, so it can't be that it doesn't cloud. It must be the consistency. So her mix is thicker. So I think they will work with a thicker consistency, which is great because I have a bunch of them. So in her painting, she used the Payne's Gray and the Viridian blue or green, and it was beautiful. And she does kind of a thicker mix. So, you know, she gets the kind of the more minimalistic, wispy, fluffy clouds where it's not the whole painting is cloud, which is exactly like I like. That's why I like to watch LoliVefe too. So anyway, obviously I was wrong. It's probably just the paint mix. So I probably will try again. But look at the weird snail looking baby alien in the middle of this. So now we have to try to make some composition work. I think first my struggle was I couldn't get the clouds, had the wrong paint, right? Then we conquered that. And now, as long as I've been an acrylic pouring artist for, I don't know, this is probably going on my 4th year, so I'm not like new here, you know? So I'm just adding this to help give us some wiggle room to spread this out without having to overstretch it. Anyway, but for some reason I'm really struggling with my composition, and I've done beautiful straight pours and stuff before, so I think I'm overthinking it when I'm pouring the cup out. Because look at that, it looks like Captain's Hook or something. But anyway, we're going to try to make something beautiful out of it. You can see the middle is muddy. So at this point, I'm like, well, let's stretch it out. Worst case scenario, we pour over it. But I do decide to let it live and let it dry. And as it dries, the weird funkiness in the middle, you can see the colors more. So you can see the more distinct lines of the blue in the yellow. And so it still looks like, you know, a baby alien or a baby Grinch or something. But I asked my husband yesterday, I was like, should I let this live and go ahead and spray some varnish on it, or should I pour over it? He's like, it's kind of cool. And then I told him, I was like, doesn't it look like that's like a Grinch embryo? I was like, now you're not gonna be able to unsee that, right? But he still thought I should keep it. So we'll let it live for now. It's strange. But there's something also kind of cool about it. I like everything about it, but the weird yellow center. I like the funkiness in the lines. I like the off-center, you know, kind of asymmetry. I mean, I like that, you know. I just didn't like the yellow. So then I did another painting after this over a record I had poured. Because, you know, once you have a very unsuccessful painting, you don't want to waste too much more paint or materials. You just want to, like, practice. And what's crazy is, like, some of my best cloud pour efforts have not been recorded. And I can't see what I did to duplicate, which is why I video almost every single time I paint. Anyway, on that one, I took the yellow out and I did all the other colors, and I got funky composition the first time. And then the second time I got funky composition, but I stretched it out in such a way where you have kind of funky cloud lines, almost like a wrecked ring pour. And I really like the way it turned out. So I'll edit that video and get that out so you can see it. I mean, it's just a record. It's just kind of playing around, but, you know, just shows that there's a lot of versatility in what you can do with the cloud pour recipe. It's just, I hate wasting the paint to practice, but that is part of the game, you know? So right now what I'm doing is picking up some drippings off the mat there and covering my corners so that when I tilt, we can get those corners covered without having to hyperextend the alien baby one way or the other. So yeah, anyway, I'm still waiting on my Vallejo Pearl Medium to come in. It's been on back order since like July. So once I do, I will probably mix up LoliVefe's recipe. I have the alternate recipe using like the Liquitex iridescent medium. So I'll probably be practicing and using the different ones here and there. But this one, it's weird, you know, but it's all right. It's weird, but I kind of like it. I don't know if it's one of those things that it's like, it's so weird you can't look away, or, you know, it's kind of funky and kind of cool. Like you couldn't have done it on purpose. That kind of weird, I guess. So funky is okay sometimes. So anyway, again, apologies if you saw the video and heard me grunting at the paint and talking to my husband, and obviously that's a video editing fail. Once I edit a video, I usually watch the whole thing and listen to it, because that's not the first time that's happened to me. But it was late. I needed to free up space on my phone. You know how it goes. So as I was, plugging away doing something, I was like, I better listen to that video and see if the audio was okay. And lo and behold, it was not. So I'm glad I listened. Anyway, so look at the weird snail baby alien. But it's also kind of cool. The other thing that's cool is check out the Vivid Intense responding well to the cloud recipe. So good to know, because I have so many of them, and that opens up my color options. So now, will it respond well to every cloud recipe? I don't know. But I know that the one that I've been using that has a little bit of water in it, and it has the satin house paint clouds, probably even more so than the satin enamels. So, I don't know. But it's nice to know that it's responding. In the other painting I was telling you about, I used it, the Vivid Intense that is, and I got some really cool effects in like the cloudy layers, kind of like you can see with the purple and the blue here. So I'm a fan, opens up the world of opportunity. You know what I think I should do while I'm just practicing these is sometimes just do them as a ring pour. And stop worrying so much about the center, although I need to practice the center. But I think what derailed me is when I first started doing these, I would try to pour and keep the cup fairly still, only moving my wrist here and there. And I would get this weird looking white section that looked like a triangle. And I was like, how do I stop getting that? And so I completely deviated and went a completely different direction. And now I think I overcorrected. Anyway, I'm going to bring you down so you can see a close-up of this cute little weirdo. So this is a 14-inch level 1 canvas. If it makes it that long, I will spray varnish it and throw it up on Etsy. You guys have to let me know. Give me your honest opinion. Would you chunk it or would you keep it? So here it is up close. Lots of cool details for sure. But then there's the alien baby, you know what I mean? But like the layers of like transparency in the paint are still pretty cool. So anyway, let me know what you think. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.